Let's go.
Listen to you about what?
About chats with Sweetie. Welcome to another episode of Chats with Sweetie. And you see, this is how I avoid arguing with you, just by starting the podcast.
It's fine, because the second this is over, we're going to continue this discussion.
With me, I have my beautiful and adoring wife that there's no way he's going to have a talk with me after the podcast, Belen. Say hi, babe.
Hi, babe.
Obviously, behind the keyboards, we got Sergio. And on the other side of the microphone, you got me, Alejandro. I'm sorry, everyone.
What a bummer.
This is all we were able to do.
What a bummer.
So, in this podcast, which is podcast number 5, the first one of the year, I'm feeling good because we're moving. We're moving, sweetie.
We are.
And we're going to talk about that with a bunch of other stuff. We're going to talk about some lockdown tips because people were asking us about, like, how do you keep your mental health during the lockdown?
Especially mine living with you.
Especially yours living with me, and also how to give each other space and some other subjects. But let's start from the beginning. We are moving out of California. So
Wow, you just dropped that real quick.
straight up. We're moving the fuck out of California.
We are.
I wish I was doing it because I had a great politics story and I was like, yeah, I'm going to stick it to the Democrats. It's just a business opportunity. But there's a lot of things that go with moving. And the first thing I want to ask you, and it was going to be a different one, but I want to ask you this one. How is it like moving with me?
In short?
No, in long, because this is a podcast unless you want to finish in 11 minutes.
In
Let me know.
It's a nightmare. The long version. It's so
how many times have we moved?
We have moved since we've been together.
Yeah.
This will be the 7th time in 13 years.
So someone's counting.
Oh, you better believe it.
Okay.
So
This is not good for anyone listening. That's a guy. When your wife is counting on something, it's bad. It's already bad. Everything is bad. Go on.
So I believe they say the most stressful things in life are death, followed by moving.
I don't think death is that stressful.
So basically, it's not ideal when you and I move because let's see. Last year, you were in Sundance when we moved.
Sergio and I were busy.
You were riding a snowmobile.
Well, that's not my fault that Google said that as my job. Google was like, hey, Alejandro, we need you at Sundance.
Sure.
We need someone to take care of these people. And I was like, I'll do it.
Sure.
Can Sergio come with me? And they were like, we need Sergio too. We went out there and we ended up snowboarding and not doing pretty much anything other than drinking and snowboarding.
I'm aware. I saw your photos.
Well, someone had to do it. So I'm sorry. While we were busy working, you had to move. Go on.
Do you actually think you're going to win this argument?
No, this is not an argument. I'm willing to. It's not a win or lose situation.
Well, you're not winning. I can tell you that.
That's why I never play, because I always lose. Go on, sweetie.
So, again, last year you were out of town conveniently.
So was it great?
No,
because I wasn't there. Just so I know, so that I can this time around won't be here.
Be out of town again.
Yeah.
So the reason why it's a hurdle and a struggle to move with you is because, as we've mentioned in previous podcast, I'm extremely organized.
Yeah.
And you leave every single thing for the last minute.
Me?
So
that doesn't sound like me.
I will start prepping you and being like, hey, we're moving in 7 days. We're moving in 5 days. We're moving tomorrow. Have you cleaned out your fucking nightstand? Because that's their only task. And you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then they show up and you're frantically trying to move all your shit.
Now, let me ask you, were we late because of me changing, getting that drawer out?
Of course.
No, we were not. Don't lie. We were not, because I was able to do that in 2 minutes.
Right. But
I was done.
But you were removing me from a task because you were asking me 37 questions about where things were supposed to go, where boxes were.
It's important to know where my diapers are. I want to know where they are. My Depends.
So, and it's, this.
Sorry.
This is just the reality. You're not super hands-on, So you're just what do we do? I'm confused. So the last couple of times I made him in charge of the animals, which that was,
great.
Helpful.
Even instead of being great, she's like, that sounds helpful. It was helpful. How about good? That was awesome.
It was helpful. That's what it was.
Okay.
It wasn't awesome and it wasn't good.
Okay.
It was helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping, since this move is pretty giant.
I don't think so. We're only getting out of California.
That you will be, more involved. So basically I sent him an email yesterday morning with tasks that he has to start achieving between now and our move. So that's what I'm going to do every week. I'm going to send you bullet point emails.
Just so you know, Sergio, I finished all the tasks that she gave me yesterday. As soon as she sent me that email, I was done with it.
But he had anxiety leading up to me emailing him.
2021 Alejandro.
Oh, this is what you said all last year.
2021 Alejandro is a fucking beast.
Okay, well, it's been 4 days.
And it ain't a beast?
It's the same Alejandro to me.
Because he's a beast. Let me just be clear about that. And Sergio's also giving me a no. The fuck is this?
Because we work with you and I live with you.
I'm sorry. Is this Chats Against Sweetie?
Well, I mean, it should be called Exposed. I do have a highlight dedicated to you.
I'm sorry. So you were saying that I did great by moving the animals.
Yeah, you take care of the cars and the animals.
That's fucking 50% of our house.
Oh, really? From our 8,000 square foot house, that was 50%?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was rough. So
now that I think about it, you were also out of town when we had to move the office to the new office. You always just like dodge things. Yeah, you were. And all the guys had to move out of the house office into when we had the other office.
Where was I?
You were out of town.
Oh, here's the deal, Sergio. You and I have to go work out there to make a living, right? Unfortunately, we're not talented to make clothing. We got to put food on our table.
What about clothing?
We can't just make clothing in our house and go to downtown. We have to go to Saudi. We have to go to Monaco. We have to go on these terrible trips. We got to go to New York.
So annoying.
I got to go to all these parts in the world so that I can make a fucking living. And you're just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not so fortunate that I can stay at home with you all day because I know that's what you want in the end.
I absolutely don't want to be home.
You guys understand what's going on? She doesn't want me there. She doesn't want me when I'm gone. Like, this is really fucking hard. Marriage is one of the toughest things anyone will ever have.
Marriage is exhausting.
And the other thing is, this podcast, we're doing it for fun. We're having a blast, right? She's like, this is the greatest therapy session I've ever had.
It honestly is.
What kind of fucking bullshit? I was supposed to just have fun with the audience and I don't know.
The
like,
audience
tell them jokes.
is having fun.
Yeah, with me.
Getting to know you.
You're on a roll today, huh?
I am.
So I'm sorry. Sergio and I weren't able to be present for our office move, but other than that, how's the other moves?
We're just different, babe. Like I'm organized and I want to get things done immediately, and then I want to unpack immediately. And if it was up to you, you'd probably leave the boxes for a couple days or weeks.
Yeah,
it's like when we get home from a trip, I immediately unpack. You let me immediately unpack you.
Thank you.
You know?
Yeah, because I'm busy. I got to go watch TV and smoke marijuana.
You're really building your case. I'm so happy that you're saying all these things.
I am. People know it's all a facade. Alejandro's like a computer.
Oh, I'm here to let them know the truth.
Computer program. So you're saying moving with me is like an awful experience?
No, it's challenging because you just sometimes can be an obstacle.
I'll tell you the other side of the coin here, sweetie.
Oh, let me hear it.
The other side of the pillow, the cooler one. You ready to listen to this? The reality is, sweetie, my sweetie, my sweetie, is anything can be done like in 2 hours or maybe in a day. And you just want to do it with so much of a heads up. Like, I have other shit to do. I got to go to the grocery store.
You go to the grocery store? You haven't been to the grocery store in 13 years.
I got to go to my hookah bar, which, by the way, Ibrahim makes the greatest hookah of all time.
I can't wait to not have to hear this ever again.
I'm going to make a parenthesis here, and you will have to hear about it again. Sergio knows I go to this really nice restaurant here.
It's not nice.
It's a Middle Eastern restaurant, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want people fucking showing up. And we go there, I eat, it's delicious, but they have amazing hookah. Like literally the best fucking hookah in the world. And people don't understand this. And I really do think the guy that serves me the hookah doesn't understand it. We've gone to Saudi, Dubai, we've gone fucking Mexico, anywhere you want. And we've had hookah everywhere, right, Sergio? Even with you, we went to Spain, Barcelona, we had hookah everywhere. This dude that absolutely doesn't want to be there doing his job and making these hookahs makes the greatest hookah in the world. And he doesn't even know.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Why are we talking about this?
Because I think it's something that people need to know.
No one cares.
People need to know about the greatest hook of all time.
But you're not even telling them the location
I
that it
can't
exists.
tell them.
So why do they need to know about this?
Because I'm having it, and they should be happy for me.
They're not.
Sergio, do you want to go have the greatest hook of all time after we're done with this? Sergio's in.
Not me.
Done. Please. I'm trying to go and enjoy myself out there. Anyways,
Wow.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh, everything that you do while we're moving is just too intense. I am a little bit more relaxed. I know it's not the end of the world. We'll get it done. No problem.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the attitude, right? Like my attitude is just too last minute and her attitude is not too last minute.
Sure.
No? Wouldn't you say that that's the problem?
Sure.
And it creates a lot of conflict from one side because you get really mad at me, but I don't get mad at you.
No, you get flustered too and you get in a mood. So it is what it is. It is what it is.
So, the reason why we're moving is we want to set up Aileron for step number 2. Aileron's our mezcal company, and it's done really well. And I'm glad that you accepted to move because we had to.
Yeah, I don't know if accepted was the right word.
So that's what I was going to say. What is the most difficult part about this to you?
Well, obviously getting out of my comfort zone is challenging. I've had the same group of friends and routine and being closest to my parents and just being out of my environment. I'm totally fine with change. I have clearly moved a lot and lived in different countries, but I think it's just going to be not really like knowing my surroundings at all because I've spent zero time where we're moving.
I don't know. When the opportunity came about, I thought there's no chance she's going to want to go anywhere because it was such a task to get you to leave even just LA City to go to the burbs, right?
Yeah, but
when we moved into Hidden Hills, you were like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in the city and blah, blah, blah. And then
that's exactly how I sounded. Thank you.
And then you were able to get over that and made the move. Was this not a bigger issue for you or?
Well, I think once quarantine hit and everything happened where we weren't able to see anyone and see my friends and do our daily things, like whether it was going out, going to dinners and doing all the things, I quickly adapted to not seeing anyone except you.
You're so lucky.
All day, every day. So that, I think, had quarantine not happened, I would have been much more difficult to convince to relocate.
Yeah.
But once quarantine hit, it was kind of like, okay, well, I haven't seen my friends in 5 months. So what's going to be the difference at this point?
Yeah.
And obviously there's growth and I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. So, it's for the greater good and it's not forever and it's going to be a fun experience.
Yeah. But even then I was like, there's no way Belen's coming with me. And let me ask me.
What were we going to do? You were going to live there and I was going to live here?
Let me ask me this question. Alejandro, what was the most difficult part about you leaving California? Oh, well, thanks for asking, Alejandro. The hardest thing was really the car thing. And I mean it because I can't go to Malibu anymore and drive in the canyons and go to all these fucking stupid car meets, which I can't even go anymore. What I'm saying is it was not really that difficult for me to do anything. I'm one of those people that can be anywhere, take me wherever you want, as long as it makes sense and I have something to do, I'm good. And I can find something to do anywhere in this world and you can take me anywhere you want. Obviously, the financial reward from it is a real big motivator for me to get out of here.
Yeah.
But I also feel really refreshed about getting out of here. And especially like you said, you're not seeing your friends. You're not going out all the time, other than to the greatest hook of all time. You're not going out all the time. You're not doing all the stuff that you normally do in California and just have fun with and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
What's the fucking point? Like, I don't want to be 2021 is looking way worse than 2020.
God,
this fucking virus, but the UK having another shutdown, every other country is going to follow through with the same rules and everything. So everybody's going to be doing the same thing. I'm really energized right now because I feel like, man, we get to like meet new people. We get to go to a new environment. We get to be in a new house. We get to do all new everything.
Well, get to start over in a sense. You know, like we're starting a new environment.
That's
We're
very
starting.
dramatic. It's starting over. I mean, Sergio's coming.
How is
Rodrigo's
that
coming.
dramatic?
It just for dramatic purposes, sweetie. It sounds a little dramatic when you say
You're dramatic. It's not dramatic.
Oh,
It's like a new beginning. It is. So I'm not really sure how that's dramatic or in a negative context, but it's like starting a fresh start, a new beginning, a new chapter. It's pretty exciting.
yeah, it sounds like it. No.
It is.
That's the way I see it. There's nothing holding me back in LA, California whatsoever.
Well, there's nothing here. Like you said, all the perks that we've had of living here have been removed.
They are.
I mean, we can't even go to eat.
Well, and even then, before that, to me, I've been trying to get out of California for a very long time, realistically speaking, because of the homeless thing. With all of our properties, it was such a nightmare to deal with. Oh my God, there's a homeless guy dying in the elevator from ODing. There's this guy like dying there's a guy harassing all the women and the cops can't do anything. Like it got old so fast. California, like LA, where we used to live in the city, is unlivable.
Yeah, but we've been out of there for 4 years. So
Unlivable.
we've had this conversation before where we're extremely removed.
Yeah.
And we're in a bubble.
Yeah, we are, but we also in this wonderful bubble. It's a very expensive bubble that we live in, which is nice, don't get me wrong, but I it's just crazy that I went to fucking RDB the other day. That's where I take my cars to get all the body work and whatnot. I go to RDB and I upload a story of my car like on the street, and everybody from Latin America was like, man, where the fuck is that? The street is fucked up. It's all dirty.
Yeah.
People in Latin, and I don't mean disrespect to my people. I don't. We just come from a different place, which is way dirtier than this. This is insane.
Well, what I was going to say before you got into that is, yes, where we live, all of that is expensive, but you didn't let me finish my sentence, which was we are so removed so that whenever we do leave this tiny circle, we're like, oh shit, like, wow, downtown's disgusting. Wow, this area is really gross. Wow, like, because I don't leave. Like there's been months, I didn't go downtown for 4 months. And I remember the first time I went, I was like, oh my God, it's gotten horrible. And we're like, we go to the same grocery store, you go to the same hookah place. Like we're in like a 2-mile radius.
And by the way, outside of the hookah place, there's homeless people already fighting and whatnot, and they know that they can call the cops and all that
our
shit.
area, not like where we live in our neighborhood, but our the surrounding areas of where we are. I noticed yesterday on Sunday when I was on Ventura, I was like, wow, there's a lot more debris and trash and homeless people than there was 5 months ago.
Yeah. It's getting insane.
Yeah.
So to me is, you know what? It's so negative to be in an area where you're just looking at it and understand, because I'm not going to get into politics. No one will ever learn anything. Everyone's got their mind already made up, whatever. It's not about Democrat or Republican. It's not about any of that. But it's really stressful living in a place where people don't understand what's happening and why it's happening, because that means it's never going to change. It's been a long time coming. You know what I mean? In California. And I get it.
Yeah.
One day I want to come back. You want to come back? Awesome. Let's fucking do it. That'll be a whole different plan. But man, right now, being out just puts you in a horrible mood. Like getting into a fight, like not even getting into a fight, just like looking at what's happening to the place.
Yeah, it's super
demoralizing.
It's really depressing.
It's demoralizing. And then you see all the people that cannot afford to be like, have jobs. Because it's just such a problem all around in California. And, you know, they can afford gas and gas prices are insane and utility bills and all of that stuff. And what we're looking at is we didn't move there just to save money. We just moved there because it's a better opportunity for us. And then you're looking at how much money we're really spending and it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
For what? You know what I mean?
Well, we're home all day.
Yeah. But I mean, this was an easy move for me. So what is the best part about the move for you?
Starting over, like this new chapter. I think it's really exciting that not like reinventing yourself, but it's like, it's a clean slate. I don't know anyone. And that's it's scary and it's exciting. And I'm excited to be in a new environment and to be creative again, because I have not felt creative for a couple months now. Mainly because it's like we're doing the same thing every single day. And like, I don't really go anywhere. And I think that is what I'm most excited for, and to just have a slower pace of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to be not with LA people.
Yeah.
What about you?
Thanks for asking.
Wow. You're so like pissy. It's like I don't even have notes.
Thanks for asking. The best part for me, there's so many of them. So like you said, the creative thing, I was really, really, really stuck because what I do, I need to be out there finding funny. I need to be out there finding stupidity. You know what I mean? And I just can't be at home, or at least where we are, and find it. I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't. That's one. Two, I'm excited for all the savings. I mean, once you look at how much power and all that shit is there, like when we went to dinner and how cheap it was compared to here, like,
yeah.
I'm excited about that. I'm really fucking excited about that. I'm excited about having to go to new places, meeting new people. Like I can just picture Sergio and I walking to like random dealerships. Like, man, are they going to kick us out of here? What the fuck is going to happen? Like, I want to see what's going to happen. I want to be out there trying new things, meeting new people, eating great food. Like, all of that really gets me excited.
Yeah, immersing yourself in like a new environment.
Yeah, I adore that. I adore it that we're going to be really close by Pato.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
I am so excited. I love that fucking kid. I love that. Oh, man. Well, I love our house, the house that we got.
Yeah, I mean, duh. I get one thing I'm also excited of the location of where we're going to be, because we're on a different side of the U.S.
Yeah.
So once shit is normalized again and life is a little bit back to normal,
We can go anywhere.
We can go to so many different places that we never would travel to, being in California.
Yeah, because the flight's so long.
Yeah.
Which I agree. It's so centric. And I mean, that's the whole point of it, because we need to be able to fly back to Mexico and like do all of our operation here. But I'm also excited for phase 2 of Aileron, but there's no point in mentioning it here. I'm excited about taking my cars out there and being the Mexican annoying guy of the community now. And people are going to be like, what the fuck is going on here? It's going to be awful. People will know, babe. People will know that a Mexican lives there. By the way, I'm going to put a flag.
No.
What's your standing on flags outside of the house?
It's a hard no.
So yes, we're doing it.
It's a hard no.
What if we did a Mexican flag?
What about Casa de Sweetie?
What about it?
I thought that's what we were going to do.
Why can't it be Casa de Sweetie and also have like the Mexican flag? Why can we get the Mexican flag that says Casa de Sweetie on it?
Why are you suddenly into flags?
I'm just saying.
And I'm asking, why are you into flags? No. The answer is no.
So the answer is no flags.
0 flags.
All right, so no flags. When looking for a new house, there's a lot of things to be taken into consideration. But looking for a new house with someone else is pretty fucking difficult. How's this process been with you?
Easy.
Really?
I mean, we have pretty similar taste when it comes to, to a lot of stuff, but to the house. Like, we both we knew what was important. And I think being in quarantine and being in this house that we're in now also made us realize, okay, a kitchen needs to be like huge priority. Backyard. Like, we knew what each other's like wants were, and we had the same common denominator. Yeah.
So what would you recommend other couples to do when they're looking for a new house? So that, because at first when we were looking for houses, like back then, and every time we've looked, it's a different situation. But at first, you wouldn't be able to get past like certain things that you were looking at. Like, what are good tips?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I can't even remember when we were looking at some of our houses. It was so long ago.
Convenient.
I think, well, there's a couple tips. One, obviously discuss like, what needs are. So what are wants? A pool is important. Garage, having a detached guest house or like a shed or whatever. So I think that is a good tip to go into it. Like, discuss that first. And then also to be open-minded. Like, if you're seeing an older home, like, no, you can change it. And I know that's what you're referring to with me. So you could have just said it instead of staring at me. But I, like, before would go into a house because I didn't understand really what remodeling was. Like, I always thought it was so like, extreme and so expensive and it would take years. Like I had zero concept of what remodeling was. But now that we watch HGTV, we know everything.
This is incredible to me because we remodeled so many buildings and offices and whatnot.
But I wasn't really involved with them.
Yeah, I guess I did it. I did it all.
You did it all.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is I never realized that. I don't know why. I always thought like Belen knows this shit. So we would show up to houses and I was like, how about this house? And Belen would be like, no, this is all. And I was like, but we can change it.
Yeah.
And you had like a really hard time with that.
Yeah.
But it's mostly because I realized like really not that long ago that you never did that with me.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying now that I understand it,
I feel like you would have had a lot of fun.
Yeah. But
doing it.
Like I said, I didn't understand. I didn't know. I always thought it was one of those things that it was like a very difficult thing to do. So I didn't think it was even an option.
Any idiot can do it. I'm going to tell you why. I was literally, so we went to the house and, we're watching HGTV, we're watching this, we're watching that. Like we're looking at ideas. We get to our house, we look at it, and I go, man, it would be great if we can just put a fireplace here, 2 windows here, and this and that.
Well, actually, you're incorrect. We weren't watching HGTV yet. We watched HGTV after we found the house.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I'm just saying for me.
What I'm getting at is for me.
Yeah.
So I'm giving all these options, and I'm telling you, this is what I want, this is what it should be, and Belen just keeps going like, yeah, we'll see.
Well,
So
I'm on the cautious side.
what I ended up doing was I got my iPad, took pictures of everything, and I edited those pictures so that she could see like the mock-ups. And once I did that, she was like, so that really helped me get my point across. But my point here was I had a lot of great ideas that at the beginning I said like, oh, we should do this. And you were like, oh, I don't know, we'll see. And I'm revisiting them now, and they're fucking great ideas. And I'm like, I'm proud because after watching HGTV and all that stuff, I got the experience. You just make myself doubt me.
It's the best show. It's the best show. We love Property Brothers.
They can do it in 7 weeks, by the way.
7 weeks.
And
on a realistic budget.
What about Tamara? Bargain
Mansions.
Also
phenomenal show.
She can do it in 2 different sections. The first one's going to take 8 weeks.
And the second one's going to take 7 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. So we know our stuff.
Yeah. But I would say for like tips is to go in open-minded, give yourself a realistic budget. Like don't go looking at houses that are like, if your budget's $1 million, like don't go looking at houses that are $2 million.
Yeah. It'll just depress you for real.
It'll depress you. So always go in with a budget. Either if $1 million is your budget, you're getting a newer house and know like you might not be able to fix certain things, or you go for a house that, is like 600,000 and then you can put in a healthy budget to remodel.
Yeah.
But I would say that, and it's also good to like, look at online at houses that are, maybe 2 million to see what you want to pull from.
Yeah.
Cause you can like achieve that. Like it's okay to have inspiration. It's okay to have all of that. Just by
the way, before quarantine started and everything, Sergio and I were going fucking everywhere to look at mansions. So that's why I'm full of ideas. Like I'm full of ideas and they're good. I'm like, babe, we should do this. And she's like, yeah, we'll see. That's why I got the iPad. I'm like fucking drawing shit all day nonstop and showing her. They're pretty good, Sergio.
I learn a lot from it. I still say we'll see.
Yeah, I know. But we learned a lot from it. From going to houses and filming the houses. Remember like how many cool houses we went to look at? Because we wanted to buy the house like the year before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But what are your tips?
It really worked. I'd say be really clear about number one, your budget. Know that you can fix and you can get more value out of that. But
I thought of something.
Know that you can fix a house and you can get a lot of value out of that. Because, for example, let's say that you have $1 million cash. You have $1 million cash. You go in, you buy a $700,000 house, and you put $300,000 into it. You can go back to the bank and tell the bank, hey, can you please value my house, assess my house? And they'll assess your house at a way higher premium because your house is already fixed and it's comparable to the nice homes. And let's say instead of like 1 million, they're going to say 1.5. And you'll be able to pull out like $750,000 or the entire $1 million and have a mortgage without you putting any down payments. So that's really, look at a different alternative to really get started with investing, with buying the house, because you can make money on the house that you're going to live in without having to make money up front or making money up front. That's really key. Follow people that do it. Don't subscribe to courses. It's really fucking easy. HGTV. and other YouTube channels online.
Yeah.
It's so fucking easy. You don't need to pay anyone to learn that. That's another one. Be very clear with your partner about your goals. Whatever you want to do, because it's really fucking hard when two people are in two different pages. When two people want two completely different things, you're never going to be able to settle on anything, and you're just going to fight and kill each other. So just make sure that at least you can agree on basics, and then do a scoreboard and say, well, you get to pick the kitchen. I get to pick the garage. You get to pick the this. I get to pick the that.
Yeah.
That's also really good, so that he balances the sheet, right? So that you don't feel like, oh, the house is all hers. Because at some points I felt like all of our houses were just yours, and I was just there. I was in a couple of pictures, and I made it to the pictures, thank God. But the whole house was like Belen, her family, beautiful dogs, and like all of the stuff that she wanted. And it's not against her. It's not a knock on her. It's because I don't fucking care at all. But at a certain point, I was like, maybe I do care. Maybe it shouldn't just be.
Well, this is just a tip. That's called communication.
I know. I learned that through the years. Sweetie. What do you want me to do?
I'm glad that you're learning about it.
I am.
13 years in. Congratulations.
Little by little. I'd say that. I'd say make sure that you can go back, which we didn't do this time around, but it's a different situation. Make sure to go back to your house at different times.
100%.
Go in the morning.
The light is huge.
Yeah. Go in the morning, go in the afternoon, go at night, and trying to go when school's out, and trying to go when rush hour is.
And also when it's summertime, to see if the sun hits your pool. Because
if you're buying the house in,
like when you and I lived in WeHo, remember how we never got sun in the backyard at Laurel?
It was phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that because if you're buying a house like in January, February, you're not obviously you're not going to know, but like at least ask those questions. And like maybe you could even ask the owners or see photos or something.
I'd also say ask if anyone has died in the house or there's been an accident, because people won't disclose that. But if you ask, they have to disclose that.
Yeah.
If there's been any tragedies in the house. Because we had a neighbor across the street, remember, in Laurel?
Yeah.
So Belen and I used to live by Swingers Cafe. This is a little story. I'm going to throw the little story.
Okay.
Belen and I used to live by Swingers Cafe. We had a beautiful house there. And our neighbor across the street, we didn't know what he did.
Well, we thought we knew what he did.
Well, we didn't know what he did. He was more popular than Tom from MySpace when Tom had all of the friends. I'd never seen an array of cars pull up, like from Rolls Royces all the way to fucking 1923 Toyota Corollas. Like I've never seen anything like that. He was busy. And they'd show up and go in and come out, and great time. The yard was really nice outside. The dude was always out, like in his flip-flops, like, watering the garden.
Was
awesome.
It?
He was.
The house wasn't great, though.
No. The house was an old house.
Yeah.
But I talked to the dude a bunch of times. Every time I'd come in a cool car, he'd be like, hey, man, what are you doing? And he would talk to me about it. And so one day, we're in our house, and we get a knock on we're across the street from this guy.
Directly across the street.
Yeah. And we get a knock on our door. And Belen answers and goes to the door, and it turns out it's the cops. So immediately, the first thing that Belen does is panics and asks me, why are the cops here?
I ran upstairs and I was crying. I was like, they're here and you're getting
Are they going to take you? I was like, what in the fuck?
I literally said, did you do something and do you need to tell me right now?
Yeah. I was like, what in the fuck is going on? No. So I went downstairs and I opened the door, and the cops were like, hey, I'm sorry to inform you that your neighbor was murdered last night. And I was like, what? Which one? He goes, across the street. Someone came in, and this is what happened because we had cameras outside of our house. We filmed the whole thing.
That's why they knocked, because they saw we had surveillance cameras.
So the dude was selling drugs. Mm-hmm. That's what he was doing. I don't know what kind of drugs. I think coke.
It was like Breaking Bad over there.
No, it was like coke. I think it was coke because a friend of ours was like, oh, my dealer coke lives right there. And I was like, that's got to be him. Like, we never put it together, but I really feel like that was him. So this guy gets murdered in his house. And by the way, before, like maybe a few months before, someone broke into his house, knocked on the door,
and beat him with a wrench.
With a wrench, he hit him in the head, and he was bleeding, and then it was a thing. So this time around, he got murdered, and we I'm sorry that I'm laughing.
Yeah, why are you?
I know it's great. Well, because number one, you thought the cops were there to fucking kill me. I open the door. I'm talking to the cops. I'm having a great time with the cops. I'm telling them.
And I'm having a mental breakdown
Yeah.
in my office. I'm watching you from the window and I'm like, they're going to take him.
I know. By the way, I look back and I see Belen by the
Crying.
window like this, like all worried. I was like, man, if I was really a criminal, I'm married to the worst fucking woman in the world to be a criminal with.
I never said I was a mob wife.
Ever. She's by the door fucking shaking, like hitting everything, like
I have anxiety.
with her big eyes. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So whatever, I keep talking to the cops. Whatever, the cops told me that someone came in 2 a.m. We saw it on the cameras. They were hiding behind the bush.
We had everything was on the cameras. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You literally could see the gunpowder.
The guy is shooting him. Boom, kills him outside in his door. And then the weird thing is, no one knew, no one saw until someone was walking their dog at like 11 a.m, turned to the left, and there's like a pool of blood and the dude like laying on it. And that was something. But wait, what was I going to say about this?
I don't know.
Hang on. There's a good story in there in between about you with the cops coming. Oh. So I finished with the cops. The cops tell me everything. They're like, we're going to need your security cameras. If we can ask, we're going to come back with the detective. Can you help us? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So at some point, the cop was asking me if I liked soccer because I'm Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
And I go, yeah, dude. And I started talking to him because I was just bringing Leo Messi to Mexico and we were doing this big game. And the cop was like fucking all over me. He loved it. And he's like, here's my card. Whatever you need, just fucking call me, whatever. So I come back into the house and Belin's like, what is happening? I'm like, nothing.
Are they taking you?
I'm like, the cops are really cool. She's like, why are they here? I'm like, oh, nothing. The drug dealing neighbor got murdered.
He's all, our neighbor just got murdered. No big deal.
It's not a big deal. He just got murdered. It's simple things in life, sweetie. Simple things in life. That's why I don't live. Let me tell you something, Sergio. That's why I don't live on the flats anymore. Okay.
That was a big motivator to move.
I'm not down with murder. Yeah.
That was a big motivator to move.
And that shit happens all the time too around there.
So that's a tip to ask if anyone was murdered. And another tip I was going to give.
Oh, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
That's why I circled it back because you.
I'm sorry.
You went this way. Is don't be so like set on a neighborhood because it can be like. It can be like
a deterrent.
Yes. So if you're like, I have to live downtown, well, know that you're going to get like a shit apartment basically and pay a lot. But if you're open-minded and live maybe 15 minutes out of the city, you're going to get a backyard, you're going to get space. So I think if you don't have to be like right there for your job or whatever it is, be open-minded.
Anyone can drive 15 minutes. I think that's a great point that you're making because I don't think it's worth it to fucking...
I think if it's 15 minutes, even if it's 20 minutes, okay, that's 40 minutes out of your day. Like to have a backyard versus being on top of people, that you should be open-minded and know that your money is going to go so much further because you're going to get more.
Yeah, it makes a big, big difference.
And there's also so many pluses of living outside of the city, like going to the grocery store is easier, gas is easy, like everything.
Yeah, crime's not as bad.
But I think a lot of it is also like a maturity thing because like, you know, when you're young, you're like, I want to live in downtown. I want to be walking to everything. And then you get old and...
Oh my God, I want to get dick downtown. All right, I'm done. I'm moving out to the suburbs.
Yeah, I think that's an important tip.
Well done, sweetie. Look at you with your tips.
It's the Property Brothers.
And sweetie, a lot of people were asking about our mental health lockdown tips. I'm going to say up front, I have no idea why you guys are asking us, of all people, but I'm going to let you start, babe. What are good tips for people not to fucking go crazy during lockdown? What do you do to not go crazy during lockdown?
I walked every day and exercised every day. Just some form of movement, I think is really important. Because it's obviously we're super lucky. We live in a home, we have a backyard and all of that. But if somebody's in a smaller space, it's really important to like go outside and walk. Even if you don't have a pet, to go outside, feel the sunshine and just be outdoors for 15, 20 minutes.
But even then, there had to be a point where being at home, when they were like, all right, you need to stay at home and whatever, did it affect you at some point? Did you feel...
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely days, like I think in the beginning it was like fun almost because it was like, oh, it's 2 weeks. we'll be home for 2 weeks. Like we can watch movies all day and all that. And then obviously 2 weeks turned into 4 weeks, 4 weeks turned into 4 months. And here we are almost a year in. So on days that I felt, anxious and overwhelmed and, just feeling like my mental health was not at its best, like I said, I would work out and I would listen to music. Like I would just find some upbeat, great music and write like my thoughts and just try and keep my mind busy. And for me, like it's really important to be busy because I'm a better person. So I would, maybe like organize my drawers or like rearrange something, just cook a new dish, like just to keep myself a little bit stimulated and have almost a little bit of a routine. But every single day, even before the pandemic, getting outside is like I think really important to get like some vitamin D and just be outdoors, listen to the birds, listen to even the cars, like just getting out of your space because you can feel really cooped up.
And what do you feel when you feel cooped up?
For me?
Yeah.
For me, it's a restlessness. Like, I don't know, this, I don't really know how to like relax. Like, I always feel like I can be doing something. So with feeling restless and then on top of it, kind of being anxious that like the world was, in that state.
Yeah.
I felt really anxious. So for me, again, it was exercise. It was either doing Pilates or going outside and just like trying to get out of that like rat race that my mind would go in.
Yeah.
Which still happens, by the way. So it's a constant exercise that I'm trying to improve on.
On not being
anxious and just like always in my head, but I think to get back to the question of like, what did you do, for your mental health is like, for me, number one is moving my body.
Well, I also have another additional question to this one, and then I'll ask the same questions to me. So I better be ready for the answers. It's important, guys. How did you not fucking kill me when it started? And I told you this is going to last like a year and a half. Because I remember when I found out that this was going to last a while, nobody believed me. Everybody was like, nah, dude, this is
2 weeks.
This is going to be done right now. And I felt like a crazy person for like a month. How do you deal with that and not being like, I'm going to fucking kill this guy because there's no way he's being negative, whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, in the beginning, it was fun because you were gone for like 3 years. So in the beginning, it was like, oh my God, it's so much fun spending all this time together, doing all these things together.
And then I got fat.
And then you got fat. There's photos, there's videos. So it was fun. We were cooking, we started gardening, we started doing all these things together that I always wanted to do. And I wouldn't say you were negative in the sense that you were like, everyone's going to die and we're never leaving the house. Like you were just like, this is not going away. But you.
Now let me ask you, when I told you that in your system of own belief, and you were probably talking to your friends and all of that stuff, did it fuck with you that I was saying that? Did you have your own idea?
No, I genuinely believed you because you were also talking to a lot of really smart people who had, more access to what was going on than us. And I also was seeing it. And I also was seeing what was going on in Europe, with talking to my dad and my dad talking to his siblings out there. Like, I didn't think we were going to be fine in 2 weeks. Sure. Was I optimistic? Of course I wanted it to be over in 2 weeks, but I didn't think like you were like so far off and I had a different opinion. But
I always wonder that.
No,
a lot of my friends, when I told them that, I actually stopped telling my friends. Like after the third one, I actually talked to Patty, and she was like, "There's no fucking way, dude. Like, there's no way.
I mean,
period." I was like, I promise you.
I think in the beginning, the only thing that I remember was you did not want me to go to the grocery store. And then I remember I didn't go for like 40 or 50 days. And I was like, okay, we need to adapt. Like I have to go to the store. So nothing's going to happen to me. I'm going to go to the grocery store. But I remember you were really hesitant with me doing that. Like you didn't want me to, like you didn't want us to leave. Yeah. You didn't want anyone to come in, like our housekeepers or anything. And then once it was like month 3, it was like, this is our reality.
Well, it's not only that. We started finding out that more stats and more things about it. Because at first, the people that I spoke to, the experts in pandemics, the experts in viruses, the experts in bacteria, all the people that I talked to, they all told me, we don't know much about this. We know it affects your cardiovascular system in a way or another, but we don't know how. So I'm just trying to not get it. And when the dude's telling you, I'm trying to not get it, and he knows what he's fucking talking about, you better not try to get it.
Yeah.
And they were saying you can go to the grocery store and you need, because, we were ordering the groceries and cleaning them. And that's what I told you we had to do, because they were saying you need to do this.
Yeah. We still.
I know. But I was worried that a lot of people were going to think I was crazy.
Well, sweetie, I've thought you crazy since day one. So
Well,
I was already used to
I
it.
am crazy, to be honest. And to me, my mental health, thank you for asking, tips.
It's going to get really old. So
For you, sweetie. For everybody watching, please drop a like if you like how I manage this. Thank you, Sergio. Sergio just dropped a like. For my mental health during quarantine, I had a great time. Number one, I don't mind being put in under any situation, circumstance, or whatever. I'll make the best out of it. That's just how I'm built. I understand that. I've done it many, many times. But when it started, my plan was, I'm just going to exercise every day, because that's it.
Oh, Jesus. I know what you're going to say.
That's it. I'm going to exercise every day, because my mind always is at its best when I'm exercising. Always.
Of course.
Like, it works at a whole different level than when I'm not exercising. So I started working out for 4 days, and I was feeling fucking great. Until one night, I was sitting in my couch, and I was getting up to get more cookies or something.
It was our anniversary.
It was in our anniversary.
It was our anniversary.
Before dinner, I stood up and I kicked
He
the
stubbed
couch.
his toe.
I broke 2 of my toes.
You don't know.
I did. And also whatever's on the back, because it sounded like, what are the little things that babies do like this? And it sounds...
A rattle?
It sounded like a rattle. Yeah, it sounded like a rattle every time I walked. And I couldn't walk for like a month or 2 months. And
You guys, it was so dramatic.
It was not.
Like,
It was not.
fucking
And this is-
hobbled
and-
around the
and-
house.
and by-
you know what you were like? You were like Michael Scott when he burns his foot in the George Foreman
because
grill.
I broke my toes. It has nothing to do with Michael Scott. I broke my toes in a really stupid way, no question about it. And then my wife was like, "You're so dramatic. You need to start doing something." Because I got obese when I was just fucking sitting there. I was eating great food, great cookies. I was learning how to cook, make desserts. So why not? So as I was expanding and getting fatter,
Literally
and fatter,
expanding.
you were like, "You need to stop." And I went and I was like, maybe I am being dramatic. My wife is right. And I try to walk her. I can remember what I did immediately, and I regret it. Because I had another 3 weeks where I couldn't walk.
I think you tried to run or walk or something.
No, walk. And it was really bad. So after that, what I did was just work out. And working out really clears my mind. And Legos really helped me.
Oh, yeah. You did a lot of Legos in the beginning. You still have like 3 that you
Yeah.
made me buy and you didn't complete.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Okay.
Legos.
Lego?
Lego. Legos get me going. Legos are easy.
You know what really grinds my gears?
It helps me with being creative. And that really opened me up between Legos and between working out to absolutely going crazy, according to everybody. Because I was at such a peace. I've never been so happy in my life. I was like, I can be at home doing Legos and working out and eating healthy and with my pets and my wife. Like, it is fucking incredible. Incredible.
Don't you remember when you did the Bugatti, you like didn't leave the dining room table for like 3 days?
I don't. I'm an obsessed person. If I start something, I need to finish it. I can't just fucking go to bed, rest. Like, I need to get it done. It was 2 full days. I did it in 2 full days from morning to night. But that's who I am. So that really helped me tremendously. And then my creative juices started flowing because I was just fucking saying their most random shit, realized that nothing mattered in this world. And I feel like I grew a lot during quarantine, but also.
Oh, you did.
Like that too. Thank you, babe. But I also know that my wife's worst fear in this world is for me to stay at home and for me to be with her.
No,
when
it's
I
you
retired,
being at home all day.
When I retired at 30 and I was living at home and I was living my best life, just chilling and working out and smoking weed and just chilling again, she hated every second of it. And I understand, but I think we all need it. I think for everyone that's out there, if you guys where like, you went to quarantine and you had an essential job. You work at a body shop, a car body shop, or an AC company, or a construction company, whatever the fuck it is, and you didn't take the 3 months off, you guys don't realize what it does for your health and for your head. I really think at least once a week, people need to stop everything that they're doing and just focus on themselves for one full day.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard, and especially with kids, because I can't imagine like being under quarantine with kids.
Yeah, no.
So that takes me to my next question. How do you give each other space? What's the right, like, how did I not overwhelm you during the quarantine, like without you wanting to kill me, or how did that work?
I think it's because I'm like, I'm very independent. So, and I have a routine.
Yeah.
So like mornings are mine. I get up, I feed the dog, I make our breakfast, I clean, and then I have my time in the living room. And you like to lay in bed and do your emails and like have your coffee in bed. So I think like I always knew I had that.
Yep.
And then the hour to myself to work out. And then I make a point to walk Fiona for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like we have good space.
Well, I think giving yourself that space for your own self is really good. And especially me not trying to go like, hey, how can I join you? There's nothing more annoying that, no, this is my time. Leave me the fuck alone.
But I
at
think
the same time, there's a lot of people that need that.
100%. But I think it's important that our whole relationship has been like this. Like the morning's always been like not mine, but like I get up and I do my thing.
Yeah.
So like there's always that, and like nothing gets in the way of my daily hour of exercise. Like I won't compromise it for anything. If that means I have to wake up at 4 or 5, like what?
Calm the fuck down. Wake up at 4 or 5.
I didn't say I wake up at that time. I said if it means I would have to, so I have that hour to myself, I would do it.
Then you would have to go to sleep at like 6 p.m.
Yeah, so I like 9 hours of sleep.
Belen, no, 10 hours is the average.
Well, yeah, in the perfect world, I can
10
sleep
hours
10 hours
is an average.
I love sleeping. It's delicious. It's good for you. Keeps you young.
I really think respecting each other is the most important thing, to be able to have that space. Even if you live in a small place, you can put your headphones on and give yourself an hour to read something, to listen to something, to learn something. And as long as you're not being stuck without learning, without growing in any way, shape, or form, because even just working out and obsessing about your muscles, if you will, that's great. That gives you something to do. That gives your mind a goal. And for some reason, we need that as humans. Mm-hmm. It's also good to take some time off. Know that you need to talk to yourself, to figure out the problems. Us as humans, this is something I realized during this quarantine. The way I used to deal with things was, boom, that exploded. And I'd go, all right, that exploded. I'm just going to completely forget about it, not address it, not think about it for 7 years. And I'll just think of happy things. And that'll be great. But when that thing exploded, something inside started to fucking grow and grow and grow. And then the day when you're going to bring it out, people ask you, how are you? And you're like, and start crying like a little girl, or like a little baby, if you will.
Okay.
Right? That's because you're not attending to those things. I realized that whenever I see something, or whenever something that happens that it's bad, it's happening to me, it's fine if you ignore it for one day. Like, let's say someone comes in and it's your fucking birthday party and they go like, hey man, this just happened and it's something bad. Ignore it for that day. You're already there. There's nothing you can do, whatever. And the next day, deal with it. But ask yourself, how are you being affected by it? Like, how is this affecting my life? What could have I done? Did I do something that I shouldn't? Anything that's making, like, whatever feelings you're getting from it, just explore that. I know it sucks, but for 3 hours.
No, I mean, this is coming from the person who would shove it down, and
that's
down,
what I'm saying.
And then revisit it in like 8 years, like you said. So this is a new skill that you've developed and learned from, you know?
Yeah.
Which is a great, like, it's great, but I agree. Like,
it is. I feel like this really helped me figure that out, and also giving yourself that hour, at least an hour a week, just for yourself.
Yeah,
for yourself.
100%.
Not to watch football, not to do this. For yourself, to be at peace with yourself. It's so fucking key and important.
Yeah, it's me time.
That's right, sweetie.
Yeah.
And I think with that me time, I'm going to leave everybody, because Sergio and I have an appointment with the greatest hook of all time.
Best of luck.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. And everybody that's watching, thank you so much for watching, for listening to us. Chats with Sweetie is all over Spotify, iTunes, Google Cast, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Everywhere.
Anywhere you look for it, we're there. Thank you very much, baby, for your time.
Thank you, sweetie.
I appreciate it.
Sweetie.
Thank you, sweetie Sergio.
Thank you, Sergio.
And thank you all, sweeties. Take care. Have a good one.